Self-made, which I got tattooed on my fingers. It's my motto. I studied actually accountancy, but I didn't know really what I wanted. I think so many people in the world don't really know what direction they want to go. They maybe follow what their parents say, they follow what other people say. I just didn't know. I just followed myself. I became also vegan in that time, and I started cooking for bands. I became very active in animal rights. And I started organizing benefit shows and even food evenings, vegan food evenings. And I was doing merch for bands, I was traveling, I was on tour with bands. And I met so many people, and I went to so many places. And I was thinking, I want to know when I'm older how it looked. I want to experience it again, maybe by documenting it on paper. Why don't I buy a little camera? So I bought myself a little camera, a digital one. I think it was a Nikon Coolpix 4300. And I started snapping around. So I was photographing every concert I was cooking for. I was photographing everybody that came on my way, even all my friends that visiting me, my cats, even a candle on the table. And I really knew fast that this is really something I really loved. Then I started becoming more professional later. After 6 months, I bought myself a Canon 10D. It's an SLR, it's a semi-professional. I had to choose. You can buy another car because my other one broke down, or you can buy this camera and follow your dream, and knowing that you really can do something later with it. I said screw the car, I bought the camera. I didn't want to have a normal job, so I did some intern jobs just to make a bit money. And I was every day working on my skills, learning, improving by internet. I was trying to improve and snapping around. And I was on DeviantArt. It's a sharing website that people share their art on. You can be a painter, drawer, photographer, digital artist. And you can learn so much on it. It's for free. There's so many talent on it. They don't even know themselves. Probably they're so talented. They put tutorials on it, stock photos. They teach you actually a lot. Probably nerds behind the computer don't know how they can commercially use it, but they're really talented, and I really love their talent. But I used it. I looked at it. I learned from it. It inspired me. I didn't steal anything. I just got inspired. I tried to create my own style. I tried to create my own thing, put my personal touch in it, and learned. And I was sharing my art also on it. And every concert I was still cooking for, because I was still doing the vegan catering for the bands, and I was still always photographing all these shows, which I documented later in a book. It's called Girl at the Rock Show. I have it also here, and I will just show it around. Everybody can look at it. I will start here. So that's my first 1.5 year of concert photography, just punk rock and hardcore. But I learned so much from it. Every stupid little concert, there was bad lighting, there was good lighting, there was this bad music, good music. But it's always how do you say that? Everything is different. You can learn from everything. So I just kept doing it. I didn't even have money. But after the food, after the cooking and the bands went home, I took home the soy milk that they left, an apple, some bread. I just took everything home because I didn't give a shit about money. I just want to do what I really love. And I survived a few years like that, just cooking and taking all the food home that the bands left. Not when the bands were still there. I didn't want to steal their food, but when they left it. And then I told people, I want to make this my job. People laughed. They were like, why would you make this your job? How can you do this? But I said, I really want it. I'm determined to do this. Fuck everybody, I'm going to do it. Sorry for the language. And then in 2005, I stopped on the DeviantArt website, and I started networking on MySpace. I wanted to make it my job, but I didn't have money. How can you make a job, or create a job, a career without money? But with all my contacts that I had, the international contacts, the American friends, I was thinking, I look on the internet. I start researching how do other people do it. I had a MySpace account. I was on MySpace. First I was just Cindy, but then I saw other people made a career on it. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. So I start networking on MySpace. And the bands that I knew all these years, they start promoting my work on MySpace. There was photos, live photos, so people don't pay for it. But I said to the bands, you can use my photos because I knew the bands. And the band said, okay, we want to use them, but I thought, I don't want to give it for free, but they don't want to pay. I said to them, put me in your top, promote me, and you get to use the photos. So I got in so many bands, their top 10. And I always used a long picture. I saw on MySpace, if you look on the pages, you can see the pictures, and if the picture is long, it sticks out. I used color also in every picture. So I had always long pictures, and they always stick out. There was a time I got 1,000 views a day, and 100 ads a day. I was traveling also all the time, and I put actually my whole story on my MySpace. I blogged a little bit, I put pictures on it. I made my life look interesting, even if it maybe wasn't, because for me it was just what I did. And the more I put on, the more people thought, oh, she's interesting. And I showed also the bands behind the stage, behind the scenes. So I just put a picture where they were eating or whatever, because all the bands trusted me, they knew me. And people started following it more and more. And then MySpace UK from England, they were interested in featuring me. They wrote me, can we feature you with MySpace? I thought, okay, they will put me in a little corner and then they will feature me. So I said, okay, do it. But they didn't put me in a corner, they put me in the middle of the page, the opening page. Everybody in England that would go on MySpace would see my picture, my banners, and they were moving. And it was a whole month, every day. Some bands even wrote me, how much did you pay for this? I didn't pay for it, I just made my page look interesting. And then after me, it was Jessica Alba and who was it? Some other art actress was like, why did they put me there? So in that time, I got so many people following my work and I got more fans. The bands, their fans that put me in the top became also a fan of me. I started networking with a few bands and doing projects. I did more books, I did more calendars. And the more I did, the more people followed my work, the more fans I got, the more people bought my stuff. And also the bands, they hired me to do shoots. I traveled to the States, I traveled to everywhere just to do photo shoots for the bands. And I was just following my dream actually for me. It was possible for me. I didn't really see that this was anything special. I have here more books. I'm going to do my next book. I have a 5th book coming out with tattoo portraits. At this point I also have an art gallery coming up, opening actually. So on 7 July I open an art gallery. So I don't know what people think or how people do their things. I just can tell you how I do my thing, how I follow my dreams. There was times that I had no money to buy anything, to do things, but I just followed my dream and I was very strong. And these times that you had no courage, you had the day that you cried and you had the day that you didn't feel good, but the next day you stand up, you fall up and you stand up and you keep going. You believe in yourself. Don't listen to people that give you shit. The higher you get, the more shit you get. It's always like that. But the more people that like you also, that follow your work, that maybe love the things you do. So I can only tell people that they should follow what they do and believe in yourself. And learn, see how you can do things for free, like internet, MySpace, or Facebook. Later MySpace was dead. People told me always, you're always on MySpace, but it paid off. And later I saw my American friends all going to Facebook. So I followed them, I go to Facebook, and I make my profile, and I actually think about every word I put on, every picture. I just make my life look interesting, my work look interesting, and people follow it. That's how you can make a career. But it's not only internet that you can use. You also have to be everywhere. Show your work, expose your work, make people see it, and talk with people, talk with everybody. And don't think that person is important and that person is important. Everybody's important. You never know who you're talking to. There was a time that I was a friend of mine actually, he's the manager of Melon Manson. And I was with him at a show in Copenhagen, and the girl that was at the entrance, I was trying to get in, I said my name, and she gave me shit, and the manager was next to me, but he doesn't look like a manager. She gave the guy shit. She's not on the list. And she made a whole scene, but she was just a manager, and nobody knew that. So you never know who you have in front of you. You just should be friendly to everybody. Everybody can be your friend, and you just have to be friendly to everybody, I think. Just a second. Yeah, I'm not really used to talk this much. I mean, I normally talk face to face, and I try to be spontaneous and be myself. I don't try to be somebody else. I just want to be myself, so I just want to share my story. If you also have questions, you can also raise your hand and ask me something.
I have a question for you quickly. So you're coming back to Kortrijk now. You're opening up a gallery, right? So you've done a lot of international stuff. You've probably seen a lot of the world and a lot of the underground, etc. So how is Kortrijk taking to you, and you taking to Kortrijk? Do you become a big fish in a little sea? In the, when you're traveling, are you a little fish in a big sea? How do you frame yourself?
No, I actually just go with the flow always. I see what's coming on my way, and I follow that. And something else came on my way. I started drawing and tattooing actually also, last year only. I also always was interested a lot in art. And the music business is really hard. So I'm a freelance, self-employed photographer. I started in 2006. There's days that I had a lot of money, and then there was months that I had no money. And I kind of didn't really like that a lot, because you're never sure about it. And then, because of the tattooing and having maybe a place at home, I never had a photo studio. I know I have a photo studio at home also. I just chose a little different way to stay a little bit more stable and at home, to do work there, but I still travel. I try to combine it. And I wanted to share more art, so I'm opening an art gallery for people from everywhere that I met on my way. People from everywhere that don't even have a big name, maybe painters that nobody ever heard of. I want to have them at my gallery. For me, it's important to have good work and not just a big name. And that's why I also found a really nice place in Kortrijk, which I live in for 17 years. I'm not from this area, I'm from the Belgian area, Limburg. But I'm actually not even Belgian, I'm Dutch. And my dad is from Indonesia. So I have so many roots somewhere. I'm proud of everything and nothing. For me, it's all the same. And now I'm in Kortrijk, and I really love it here. And people told me, if you would move to the States, you will be a really big photographer. But I didn't want to. I don't think the dream is America. The dream is what you love, if you do things that you love with passion. Don't think about getting rich or famous, just do it with your heart. And then you get really far. That's what I think.
Are there any more questions?